Hey guys, Braxis here, and I'm going to be playing some SpaceEngine. So, actually, I'm going to be starting this off with two suggestions of my own. These were suggestions that I sent to Venera 13 Studios, and if you guys don't know who he is, I suggest you go show him some love in his latest video and spam him with a bunch of suggestions. Anyways, here's what I personally proposed. This is a cold desert with life, and as you can see, it is in between two galaxies that are about to sandwich this little tiny elliptical galaxy. And it is in a star cluster, and it is a cold desert with life. I do believe it has purple life. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's go ahead and land right here. So there's our typical, actually, yeah, pretty typical purple life textures. That almost looks like some kind of coral reef or something like that, doesn't it? What that is. It looks like some type of like ocean floor or something like that though. And over there it just looks like some trees or something. Like that's the dirt, there's a tree, and there's its shadows from it. Those look like trees, but they're just purple. Like some kind of plum tree or something. And as you see in the daytime sky, since we are in a star cluster, we have tons of beautiful stars in the sky. And as you can see, I do have my field of view increased, so you guys can get a wider angle on like what I'm actually seeing, or what's being seen here. So let's go ahead and fly over here, over to the darker night sky. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit darker. It's probably because I'm actually just a higher altitude. Let's, where's the night sky? Come on, there it is. As you can see, it is actually a cold desert as well. So we do have a lot of like snow and stuff. This is kind of a cool looking mountain right here. And right there, you could already see one of the galactic collisions. Let's get over to the night sky, which is right over here. A warm desert, but it's also a moon, as you can tell by that gas giant right there. There's one of the spiral galaxies. If you look on the other side there, you can see the other spiral galaxy. Now, to actually see all three galaxies, I think you have to be caught at the right time of the year on this planet. Which, let's see. Yeah, we're at the wrong time of the year, so I don't think we're going to actually be able to see all three galaxies at once. But if we hit play and wait long enough, we should be able to see it, so let's just go ahead and speed this up and let half a year pass by. Now, it has to be a year of this gas giant, not exactly the moon that's orbiting around it. So, where is the parent star? I assume that's the parent star. Go ahead and just speed up time so much that this planet kind of just travels halfway around this thing. Oh, wow. Okay, no. Is it a binary star? Oh, it is a binary star. Okay. Oh, well, that almost confused me a little bit. Okay, let's slow down time quite a bit. Speed it up. And let just half a year go by. Oh, you see that comet that just kind of flashed through there? That was kind of cool. Okay, so where's the galaxies at? There they are. So maybe from the night sky we can now see the galaxies actually colliding. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we should be able to see it from this pole right here. See all three galaxies kind of in view. You'd probably have to go to a slightly higher altitude to actually get a really good view of it, but yeah, you could actually see all three galaxies in one view. So, rather nice. There's one of the galaxies. There we go. And let's just flip the camera. Much better. Oh, and has like a very prominent red shift because, well, the center of the galaxy is kind of in the atmosphere. And as you can see, it has a very Earth-like sunset, as you can see over the star there. So, very cool. And like I said, you have these beautiful bright stars, because we're actually sitting in a galactic cluster. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which doesn't actually have a visible plant life, but I found it pretty cool. It's in another galactic cluster, and it's also in another star cluster. And it is this Oceania right here. So as you can see, this Oceania is actually frozen at its poles, so it's not only ocean, it actually has some ice kind of on its surface, which I found pretty cool. And look at that, I caught it just in time for an eclipse. What is actually eclipsing it? It looks like that small rock right there. Very nice. Oh, look at that, I caught it just in time for a comet too. When I didn't, at the last time setting I had before I actually started the video, that comet wasn't there, neither was the eclipse. So very cool. The time setting is probably pretty far in the future. I haven't reset it in a while. Let's see. Yeah, it's 2169. So yeah, pretty far out. Reset the field of view here. And yeah, I found it just kind of cool because it had these nice polar caps on it, which is not too common on these Oceania planets. Cracks in the ice here. And from its surface, you can see that asteroid. It's got a shadow casted like over there somewhere. And in the night sky, let's just turn off the atmosphere. You can see that we are in an elliptical galaxy that is about to collide with this huge spiral galaxy right here. So you just see that thing kind of in the background. It looks like a huge, well, I guess whirlpool or something. Looks like you're about to be like kind of sucked into it or something like that. But the center of the elliptical galaxy is right here, actually. So let's go ahead and speed up a bit and see if we can find the center of this thing, which should be in a star cluster that's right there. So let's go ahead and slow down here. And as always, for when you're looking for a black hole in the center of these galaxies, you're looking for either a bright white or bright blue star, which might be this. Ah, yes, I found it. So it is, which one did I just click on? This one? I think it is this one. You gotta approach these kind of slowly or else you'll fly right past them. Nah, that's the white. Nah, man. I lost the one that I clicked on. I got it the first time and then just kind of lost it. Okay. I'll do it the cheater way. Yeah, it was this one. And there we are. Oh, it's actually kind of a really dark black hole. Like the accretion disk is really dark. You can go and look at something like IC1101. It doesn't look like that. It's actually pretty transparent where the dark parts are. And there's this beautiful lensing effect. So let's go ahead and move on to a few of your guys' suggestions. XD, so let's go ahead and check these out. He says, I'll suggest these planets for on you and Venera's videos. I'm already subbed to him. Oh, very cool. And here are some suggestions. Okay, so let's go ahead and check these out. No description on these suggestions, so we're just jumping right in. They look like they're in the same kind of general area. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. I have atmospheres still turned off. Let me get that enabled again. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay, that's even cooler. Got a nice blue atmosphere. We have a moon over there. Solana moon. And we have kind of a thin ring system, if you guys can see that there. Oh, no, it's actually two thin ring systems. Oh, and they're kind of purple and white. That's nice. We have, like, this kind of lovely landscape. This is actually a really cool looking Terra. The ocean looks kind of like just a sea or something like that, or a large lake. The size of the planet is 11,000 kilometers, so it is actually very close to Earth in size. It has an ESI of 93%, which looks well deserved. I think this is a bunch of snow. It is a temperate planet though, so it might not be. Kind of trying to slow down here. Oh yeah, I think that is actually snow. Oh yeah, it is snow. So all this white on this planet is just a bunch of snow. It's sitting at -4 degrees, so I guess that is kind of expected. We got some what looks like low altitude cloud layers. Oh yeah, those are definitely low altitude. It's like the skin of an apple. Right here, generating a beautiful landscape. Look at that view. Very cool. And it has life, so I think I already see our life texture. I'm thinking it's probably just a grass texture, but I'm going to have to find a place that's a little bit more definitive on that. Wow, there's like no flat land on this world. Here we go. Here's a nice little grassy plain. That is not the grass texture, actually. That's something different. I think that's the satellite image of the trees. I saw it earlier, I believe, but it was purple. Yeah, that's totally the satellite image of like a forest or like a pine forest or trees or something like that. You can see the dirt and there's trees, shadows, yeah. So yeah, it looks like we have trees on this planet. Very cool. And you can see the shadow of the rings on the atmosphere here. Let's just look up at the parent star. And you can see the stripes of the rings going through. Very nice. Over here you can see a little bit of the water that's on this planet, which I think is, yeah, it's actually a nice red color. We saw that when I had the atmosphere turned off. Now look at this beautiful landscape. That's so cool. My field of view and make something like that the thumbnail. I think that would make a really good thumbnail. Oh, also I updated OBS, so hopefully everything is not exploding. It is kind of nice when things don't explode. So, yeah, I did grab the latest OBS update, so hopefully this is all fine. I'll find out when I'm editing it, that's for sure. So, this is a very beautiful world. I'm assume the sunset, since the planet actually has a nice blue atmosphere, is probably either going to be bluish or it's going to look very Earth-like. I could already kind of see it's probably going to be Earth-like. I see a orange hue to it. Yeah, pretty Earth-like sunset. And it almost like lit up back here. You see a nice red fade. Kind of still colliding into the ground here. Yeah, and you can just see it fade off to a nice kind of Earth-like sunrise. So, very cool. And here's some of the hills as viewed from the kind of sunset sky. Including this volcano here, which actually peaks pretty much out of the atmosphere. It is not an active volcano, though. There's a nice view of one of the galaxies. That's a completely separated galaxy, isn't it? Are we in one of those little galactic clouds? Or are we in a galactic collision? I think we're just in one of those clouds at the edge of this galaxy. Let's see. Ah, yeah, we're like kind of far off. Okay, so we're still in the galaxy. It's just kind of weirdly stretched. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the next one from XD. Once again, has no description, but it's kind of in the similar neighborhood. Oh, question mark. And it is another Temperterra with life, right here in the same area. Okay. And it's not just a Temperterra with life. It is a tidally locked planet with a huge storm. And it's half frozen, as you can see. Or half thawed, however you see it. Let's just touch down right here. You can kind of see the galaxy faintly. And we're kind of at a high altitude, so we can't really see too much of the atmosphere. My phone just went off. So let's go ahead and go over here, and let's see if we can find some terrain, because all I'm really seeing is water right now. Just turn off the clouds. And there's not really any huge land masses from what I could tell. It's mostly like a frozen Oceania, but there is a little bit of terrain. And you can see where like these volcanoes kind of peek their way through. Let's turn back on the clouds, and there's the eye of the storm right there. And somebody asked me yesterday what it looks like if I land. Let's just press the landing key. In the center of one of these storms. And I said it kind of looks like a blurred up texture. But no, this one actually is pretty detailed in comparison. And you could actually see what it looks like, and there's our parent star. Which, has something going on there. Oh, this planet has rings. I'm seeing rings, ain't I? Actually have some faint rings. Let's turn up the ambient lighting to actually see them. Check that out. And the rings are completely polar as well, so they actually orbit towards a star like that. Isn't that cool? So let's default that there. They're rather dim and rather dark rings, so they're pretty faint. We do have a little asteroid moon, though. And we can look down at the world from here. So, there's our world. Next suggestion is from James X2, and he wants me to visit 55 Cancri. Cancri? I don't know. I don't know. It's the idea in the game. I assume it's a shortened name, though. I think I've been here. Is it CNC? It's probably CNC. He doesn't have a specific number. Cancri. Yeah, I've been here before. Yeah, I've been to all these. But here's another tidally locked world. We'll just use it as an example. Oh, okay. That's a very, very bright tidally locked world. I think I have real planet brightness on. There we go. Here, and, yeah, now I'm remembering. Yeah, they had this glitched out storm. Yeah, I was here actually a couple videos ago. It wasn't too long ago. Somebody actually asked me to come here. So yeah, actually I've been here before. This isn't the diamond planet, is it? No, it's not. I don't think so. No, it's not. A period of 17 hours. Yeah, I've been here. I was here actually very recently. So, yeah. I liked it because all the planets actually had names. Slippershy, Harriet, Galileo, Jennison. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Dog or Diggity Dog. He still hasn't clarified that for me. And, yeah, he wants me to go to 39. See if I can find 39 here. It is 2005 39. I assume this one. It said LB at the end as well. Kind of hellish looking. It is a temperate Terra. Let's go ahead and touch down on here and see how close we are to that parent star. Okay. So it is a temperate Terra with a really hellish looking atmosphere. Nice little hell planet here. Let's get that off the screen. And, yeah, we have this very, very red, very fast spinning star. It's actually a red dwarf, but it's really egg-shaped. Look at that. Let's try to fly into it without actually flying into it. Oh, wow. It's incredibly detailed as well. And I flew into it. Remember that thing I said I was going to avoid doing, such as flying into it? Well, I did that. Look at how bumpy this is. Look at the terrain on this star. That's really cool looking. Look at this. Looks like a Pringle or something. There's a technical name for that shape. The reason why Pringles have their shape is because if you ever set a Pringle on the desk and blow at it, no matter what, the air will go across, so essentially it will not fly off the assembly line, and that's why Pringles are shaped like that. In case you guys didn't know. Just random fun fact. But, yeah, really cool looking world. Definitely a really nice hell world. It doesn't look like we have any Aurora on it, though. Do I actually have Aurora that's disabled? Oh, there it is. Found the Aurora. But you can't really quite see the star from it or anything like that. And I do believe, of course, that is the Milky Way galaxy. But we're kind of sitting above it, as you can see. We're kind of above the interstellar suggestion. And I really like the, I don't know, what are we going to call this star? It's not a potato. It could be a red potato. A jelly bean? Maybe a jelly bean? Not sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is the planet with the highest albedo, which is Kepler 10b, which I do think I've been to before, but let's go ahead and check it out. And that would be this one right here. Scorched Desert. Okay, so we're really close to its parent star. It says an orbital period of 20 hours. kind of nice and molten, or not really. No, that is probably molten. Let's fly around. Yeah, the clouds are definitely on fire. That's for sure. Let's touch down right here. Oh wow, that has an unusual blue atmosphere. See, it's not very reflective. Because I do believe albedo is the lack of reflection. Highest. Is this the most reflective planet? That would make this incredibly bright, right? If this has the highest albedo, it should be incredibly bright. So let's turn off turn on real planet brightness and see what happens. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's a little more accurate. Okay, so this apparently has the highest reflective value. Such as our moon, which actually has a rather low one. It's just the only bright object in our sky, so it looks incredibly bright. Well, it's not the only one, but it's the brightest reflective object and the most notable one. Okay. Not too sure what's going on here with the graphics. They're kind of doing some weird things. I wanted to kind of get a nice view of this, but as you can see, the graphics are not handling this to the best it can. The clouds are a little bit buggy, but I noticed that when I flew over to this side of the planet, and it actually, the clouds were actually clipping into the terrain, as you can see right here. Just like the that one hot desert we just visited not too long ago. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from, let's see. Okay, we are in Triangulum, but I think we are in a red nebula. And I might have atmospheres turned off. Oh, and they are actually on. Very thin looking atmosphere then. Even though it actually has an atmospheric pressure of 5.09, so it's actually not a thin atmosphere. Visible atmosphere. It actually is when you actually touch down though. You can see some of the stars in the sky. Okay, fix our speed here. So immediately it looks like we have some treetops or something like that. Kind of blended in with a rocky texture or something. Not sure, that might just be, yeah, that might just be little bundles of, like, grass and weeds and stuff on the ground. Could be that. Maybe some moss? Or that is satellite images of trees. That could be satellite images of trees. Well, we have some nice, lovely eroded hills, kind of Earth-like atmosphere. We have our beautiful rings, which I don't think, do they actually have a color to them? Let's find out when we go to the other side. Not really too much color, a slight gold color to them. And let's go ahead and land right next to this hurricane, which, on the subject of seeing the eye of, like, storms, like the tidally locked planets, the hurricanes are what I was more referring to. They don't really have much of a detail to them, they're just kind of blurred up. But, yeah, you can definitely see through them, though, so that's very nice. Yeah, that definitely looks like treetops now that I see it again. Okay, let's see. There's the lovely shadows from our rings, which I really wish, yeah, it had like a little bit more of a detail to it. I don't know what the technical term would be, but more polygons, I guess. I don't know. You can kind of see the sharp angles of the atmosphere or something, the model. It would be kind of cool if that was like a little bit smoother, like the shadows on these. They look very nice, nonetheless. You can see the shadow on the hurricane as well. And the shadow on the ground. Very cool. There are some beautiful grassy mountains, it looks like. Nice and rounded ones. And let's head back over here. And let's just check out this nebula from our night sky. But it's a nice purple from the atmosphere because we have kind of a blue tint to the atmosphere. And there's a little bit of red. And there is a spiral galaxy, which I can only assume is Andromeda since we are in Triangulum. And that might just be the Milky Way. That is Milky Way. And as you can see, we have our bright rings just kind of sitting in the sky. Actually, not very bright. A little bit bright, though. Where the sun's setting, you kind of have like a greenish glow. I do believe those might be moons or other planets. Actually, those are other planets. And there is Andromeda, just sitting there being a big blue galaxy in the sky. And where's Milky Way? Where was that again? I have lost the Milky Way. I just clicked on it. It's very dim. Okay, so let's go and move on to the next suggestion from Derp Sauce Gaming. He wants me to visit B4, B9, and... okay, no. Just B4 and B9. Okay. So we have like some kind of polar directions going on with these storms or clouds or whatever. You can see that there's some hurricanes kind of on the equator there, and yeah, you can see the clouds are moving different directions depending on the hemisphere. So we have some huge polar caps. This must be a very cold planet. Let's get this off the screen. Sitting at -9 degrees, so not too cold. But obviously a very turbulent planet. It has a diameter of 12,000 kilometers, so very Earth-like in diameter, a little bit smaller. ESI of 93%. Got an atmosphere of CO2 and oxygen. We have this beautiful active volcano with some snow on it. Kind of peeking out of the atmosphere. We have an atmospheric pressure of 46% of that of Earth. And yeah, kind of this nice orangish atmosphere, which I almost relate to either planets that are orbiting red dwarfs, which this one is, that are not receiving a lot of light. So if I turn on the real planet brightness, it'll probably get much dimmer. Oh, that is the real planet brightness. Okay. Or just kind of planets that are kind of in their early stages. Like they're just starting to develop like an oxygen-rich atmosphere and life and all that. But this does actually have life, so let's go ahead and check this out. That's sand. That's certainly not life. We do have terrestrial life, so... okay, that's looking kind of like life right there. That's looking kind of plant-like. I don't know, kind of plant-like. Looks like just a bunch of noise to me, actually, but looks like life. Might be life. What about over here where it's darker? Oh yeah, that's life. It's definitely life. It's just creeping its way in. Okay, so we found life. We can go home, boys. Okay, let's see. Got some kind of low resolution clouds. They're actually getting a bit better as I get closer, but yeah, kind of low res clouds. And here's some kind of nicely eroded, snowy mountains, it looks like, that are incredibly shiny. They look like they're made of candle wax or something. Those are really shiny. On the other side of these very shiny mountains is some really nice eroded hills here, which do still have that winded sand texture going through them. So this is one of the planets in the system. He wants me to check out another one, which is B4? B9. Which is this one. It says it looks like Uranus in appearance. Okay, that's incredibly dim because we are pretty far out. Let's turn off the real planet brightness, and now we can actually see it properly. Would I say this looks like Uranus? Maybe. It has that, like, tilt to it. It's like on an extreme axial tilt. But would I say that it looks like... or did I say Venus? I meant Uranus. Yeah. a Saturn color gas giant orbiting it. Oh yeah, there's a gas giant right there. I guess you could say that's kind of colored like Venus if you don't count the stripes that are going through it. Or did I say Venus again? I mean Uranus. Man, I'm tired. Yeah, if we go to Uranus, I don't think it's quite that color. I think it's a little bit more of a different blue. Yeah. So here's Uranus, which I guess kind of shows up white in the game, but we relate it to having a blue color. If anything, it kind of looks a little bit more like Neptune. Uranus is, well, in this game, kind of desaturated. Probably because it's based off like an image or a satellite or something like that. Just a high-res image of something. But if we go over to Neptune, which is right over here, kind of looks a little bit more like that, but just kind of a different hue of blue, I guess. But Neptune kind of does have some stripes going through it. I find kind of interesting because we have like these kind of cloud things going through, like Neptune kind of got like a little storm there or something. So Neptune has like some clouds going through it, but the game doesn't actually render that. It kind of just procedurally generates like a stretch texture or something like that and uses it as a cloud map and adds like a detail layer to it. So you don't really get too much detail with these kind of gas giants. I think it'd be kind of cool if we actually, like, it'll get like one of these random twisted storms where it's just probably like a little rotation brush in the texture. I think it'd be very cool if it would actually add like a little random cloud details and stuff like that through the gas giants occasionally. Kind of like Neptune. The touch of the gas giants. I think the gas giants really need a lot of, I don't know, a little bit more love in the game than they actually do receive. Because like I said, you look at Saturn's rings and they're just absolutely beautiful. You look at the other gas giants rings that are like procedurally generated. They're not quite as good looking. But yeah, very cool. And we have a large aurora here because, well, gas giants produce a huge magnetic field. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Infrared. He says it is his very first find in his logbook at the edge of the universe. So when you first launched the game, you just went straight to the edge of the universe. Like you just want to escape this universe and go to some other dimension of like where our physics do not apply and other nonsense like that. Yeah, theoretical stuff. Wanted to go to a parallel universe the second you got into this game, where you'd find like box planets and ring planets and stuff like that. Maybe a helix. Okay, so looks like we have a beautiful sky here. Not really like, okay, so we're in an irregular galaxy, so we have like this beautiful sky here, which just looks like a huge nebula almost. We have these huge bright rings, which should be visible from the atmosphere. Yeah, they certainly are. The terrain itself has a kind of nice dark grass and really, really vibrant blue atmosphere with that little moon there. Hi, little moon. Kind of not perfectly round, are you? And we have these really nice rolling eroded hills. Like, that actually looks like it generated really nicely. You can see the ring there in the background. So that's a really cool view. Really nicely generated Terra, and we have our kind of simple... Actually, no. That looks like the top of a forest, actually. I was going to say it's our grass texture, but no. Actually, it looks like the grass texture, but it's blended in with like a forest texture or something. So we have some lovely rolling hills in this valley here between these mountain ranges, which looks very nice. And we have a very bright, prominent object right there. Is that a planet? That's an orange dwarf. Very cool. I assume if I turn on the real planet brightness, this planet might actually be a lot dimmer than it actually shows. No, it's about the same light. In fact, it's a little bit brighter. I thought it was actually be a relatively dim planet. That must be a relatively bright star. Yellow dwarf. Okay, so it's very sun-like. Let's go ahead and zoom out here, which has quite a lag spike there when I was zooming out. And we got CO2, nitrogen, and oxygen. And we have an ESI of 91%, so a rather high ESI on this planet. We have a diameter of 15,000 kilometers, so it's actually bigger than Earth, and there's a beautiful aurora there. We are sitting at a semi-major axis of 1.12 astronomical units, and atmospheric pressure of 0.34, thin atmosphere. Temperature is -2 degrees, so it's a relatively cold planet in comparison to our Earth. And that's probably what makes the ESI dip down a little bit. But over here we have some really nice mountain terrain. I thought that was actually a canyon when I was first flying into it, but no, it's actually a mountain. It looks like it generated just beautifully. So it's a really cool world. Just very appealing looking, very natural looking. And quite Earth-like, I would say. So, very cool planet. And obviously, what's a little bit less Earth-like is these huge, beautiful rings. Looks like 3 sections, and is there anything actually orbiting between these rings? Doesn't really appear so. We do have a couple moons, though. Very nice. The next one is no description, I think, but he says he found another Terra. Is it in the same neighborhood? It doesn't appear so. Oops. And here we go. So we got a lovely Terra here, and it looks like we have a little asteroid moon. And then I think we're in a... No, we're not in the Milky Way galaxy. Yeah, it's not very Milky Way-like once I actually look at it. Kind of pinkish. But we have an Earth-like planet here. Let's check its ESI of 87%, so a little bit less Earth-like than the previous one. The diameter is 16,000 kilometers, which is 1.28 times the size of Earth. We have a semi-major axis of 0.89, so we're a little bit closer to our parent star than we are from ours on Earth. And let's just try to click on this star here. It is a yellow dwarf. So, Earth-like star. Or not Earth-like star, but Sun-like star. And the atmosphere is CO2 and oxygen. It's lacking nitrogen. Or if there is nitrogen, it's in a very low quantity. But on this planet, we have a very dense atmospheric pressure of 7.25. So we'd be under a lot of pressure if we were actually on this planet. We have a greenhouse effect of 10 degrees. The temperature is negative, actually it's just 0 degrees, 0.5. So relatively cool. A little bit positive in the, no, not correct. Never mind then. I was gonna say it's a little bit positive in the Fahrenheit, but no, that's negative. That'd be 0.5. That'd be -2 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna have to check that now. Now that I said that. No, wait. I'm stupid. So it's a relatively cool planet sitting at 0.5 degrees, which I think is a little bit less than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I would say possibly 29 or something degrees Fahrenheit, if I were to make a guess. I don't really know. I don't measure things in Celsius, so that's something I'm not familiar with. I do measure distance and stuff in kilometers instead of miles, so kilometers just seems to make a lot more sense to me than using miles. But temperature, I still use Fahrenheit, being North American, so what are you to do? That's just what I was raised with. So it looks like we have mountains going on here. It looks like just a rolling kind of bunch of grassy hills. Looks very cool. And here's a actually rather thick cloud layer. So I assume the sunset is going to be kind of reddish, maybe? Okay, so my mouse just died on me, and I'm using very, very dead batteries. So I'm going to have to rush through this. So here's the sunset for you. It's gray. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from... Oh, well, I guess this is the last suggestion. Okay, well, I need to go grab some batteries. This is the unfortunate reality of using wireless mice and cheap dollar store batteries. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this video probably rather quickly, so it's probably not gonna be the best. I have one more thing to visit, and that would be, the Carina Nebula. So let's go there. Let's go there. Carina Nebula. And let's just drop it. Well, game crashed. I want to go visit one more thing, and the game crashes, and I'm in a hurry. Come on. Okay, here we go. We're going to the Carina Nebula. So here's the Carina Nebula, and I wanted to go to this bright object right here, which is a Wolf-Rayet star. Somebody mentioned that WR star in the Carina Nebula, aka ETA Carinae, which is this star right here, is the brightest Wolf-Rayet star that we know of. It's the closest one. I don't know if it's the brightest one, or it's actually one that's visible in the Magellanic Cloud, though we do believe it's a Wolf-Rayet star. But yeah, that is this incredibly bright star right here. Object, which when it's blocked out by this blue star, it's actually dimmer, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, this is a Wolf-Rayet star. I only brought this up because it was mentioned. Yeah, I've visited this plenty of times. In fact, it is the very first one I found, and I actually found it completely on accident. I was just clicking around, I clicked on the Carina Nebula, and accidentally clicked on this Wolf-Rayet star right here. And I was actually quite shocked I found one, because that was like on my kind of list of things to find. You can see the kind of plumes of just matter being ejected from them. Like, it's kind of cool looking. It looks like a mushroom cloud, but in both directions. It's really cool looking. Anyways, yeah. I'm going to have to go edit this video on a pretty much dead mouse, and then later in the morning I'm going to have to go grab some new batteries for this. So, if you guys like the video, please leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one, where hopefully somebody won't be revving their engine outside. I mean, really? Come on. It's like 6 a.m. So, a bit of a bonus clip, I guess. Andromeda literally just posted a comment, and my phone went off. I checked the comment, and yeah, let's go ahead and pay a visit to it real quick. So, yeah, there's 2 suggestions. And I was like kind of in the middle of editing the video, and the video was looking kind of short anyways. So let's go ahead and check it out. The first one is a warm Terra. A beautiful blue galaxy. A random galaxy. It's actually kind of unusual for Andromeda. Andromeda doesn't normally post random galaxies. Looks like we have a planet with a couple moons over there. Yep, cold ice giant. Anyways, let's check out this Terra. It has a diameter of 12,000 kilometers, very close to Earth. 94% in fact, and it is tidally locked, which is nice because I can actually show again what it looks like on a tidally locked planet. It looks like this is just ocean here, so it's just land. Because again, somebody asked what looking up from the storm of a tidally locked planet would look like, and this is it. That is the eye of the hurricane, as you would say. Over there, looks like we have a small asteroid. No, actually, that's a gas giant. That is not small at all, in fact. Yeah, we have a cold ice giant over there, and next to the star, we also have a probably very warm one, temperate gas giant. That's actually on the other side of the star, in fact. And you can see that it has a ring based on that line there. Is that... Is that potentially orbiting around this? No, it can't be. This is not a moon, is it? I don't think so. No, okay. It really is just a gas giant there. Okay. I was a little bit confused. I thought this might have been a moon of that gas giant. No, everything's just kind of close. For warm Terra, that must be a really cold star. What's our
Semi-major axis. 2.5 million kilometers. Okay, that's not a very powerful star, I take it. Well, nonetheless, it's a very cool looking Terra. We have kind of a reddish atmosphere, as you can see here, and there's our lovely aurora, and it is definitely active. It definitely has some volcanic activity going on, with this very, very tall and kind of skinny volcano. So yeah, we have this lovely red hellish atmosphere and some nice rolling hills here. And you can see the nice detailed cloud layer, which is typically prominent on these tidally locked planets. So, very nice. The atmospheric composition consists of water, CO2, sulfur dioxide, NH3. NH3 is, what is that? Ammonia, right? Yeah, because CH4 is methane. I was getting those confused. Yeah, I think that's ammonia. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Anyways, yeah, we have some actually nice eroded hills here as well, which is kind of interesting that it's actually raining over here. And there's actually like liquid water to erode those hills. And I'm kind of curious, would like a giant storm? Yeah, probably. I imagine this is like a lot of turbulence and stuff being caused by, well, the energy from that star, the radiation and stuff just pelting the planet here. I imagine that's causing a lot of turbulence, making this huge hurricane here, or that could just be a pressure difference from like the temperature possibly, because it's much colder over here than it is over here. And if you look at some planets, you'll see that based on their hemisphere, the clouds are moving two different directions. And in between that, on the equator, that's where you'd find hurricanes and stuff, is in between those two like temperature fronts. It's kind of the same way a tornado is formed, in a sense. I wonder if that's what's causing that, or if it's just the kind of solar radiation just pelting the planet that's actually causing this. Or it could just be caused by like a lot of evaporation from the heat from the star, but I notice that's not really much of a thing. Even on some colder tidally locked planets, they'll still actually have a storm, so I don't think temperature has a huge play in this, but I could be wrong. It might just be temperature differential between the cold side and the warm side of the planet. But you would think that would possibly cause the hurricanes to be up here. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this more because I'm a little bit confused as to how this actually happens, clearly. Well, this is very interesting. Let's go ahead and hit play and just watch this thing actually spin around. Oh, I forgot to rotate with planet. Whoops. Let's pause it, rotate here, and rotate with object. There we go. You see there's two cloud layers. You can see some of the clouds actually pass by the other ones. Since it just uses the texture, it doesn't actually behave like actual clouds. You may have noticed I also don't really have music playing. It's because this is kind of impromptu. But let's go ahead and load up the next suggestion from Andromeda real quick, and it is in a... Oh, I think he actually made a mistake. I don't think he actually listed a planet here. It should be a star though, right? Ah, yes. A yellow hypergiant. From my understanding, yellow hypergiants are actually fairly uncommon. Just go ahead and... Okay. Okay. Whoa. Okay, let's pause the game because performance has gone to crap. This is the central black hole of this cluster, possibly? Or this might just be a black hole in the cluster.